This is me. I have a great deal of time. Now, even though you don't have any time, we know you have a great deal of context that might have more time than you. Would you agree with that? And they said, well, absolutely. I said, a lot of people today own, are invested in businesses that they're not personally actively involved with. You might not like McDonald's hamburgers, but you wouldn't mind owning 4 or 5 of the units, would you? Okay? You might not eat a burger at all, but people come in and drive in and do eat it, right? So even though you don't have any time, no time, I do. And I'm going to come down and work with some of the contacts that have more time, create an income flow for you, and generally when this shows up, more time involved. Would you all agree? See how simple this is? How many of you ever heard this one? Well, Dave, I'm just flat not interested. Everybody repeat after me. Our business is specifically designed for non-interested people. I says, this is you have no interest at all. This is me, I have a great deal of interest. Now, even though you don't have any interest, you have a great deal of context. We already talked about that because through the friendship building process, I've learned where all your contacts are across the country. And I said, for example, your brother-in-law up in Illinois, or some friends you have in California, and so on and so forth. They may have a greater interest in you. Would you all agree? And they said, well, yeah. I said, even though you have no interest, okay, we're still going to allow you to get in the business. And I'm going to come down and work with the people that have a greater interest in you, start creating an income flow, and when this shows up, generally this changes. Would you all agree? Everybody get the picture on that? No matter what you say, I say, I'm sure glad you said that. You say, I want in, what do you think I'm going to say? I'm sure glad you said it. If I don't have any time, I'm sure glad you said that. I have no interest in it. I'm sure glad you said it. If I don't like selling, what? I'm sure glad you said it. Well, I'm broke. I have no money. Everybody repeat after me. I'm sure glad you said it. I said, this is you right here. You have no money, but you get good sense. This is me. I have a lot of money. Now, what I want you to do is invite some people that you know that have more money than you. I'm going to come down, start conducting a business model, start developing an income flow, and generally when this shows up, all we're going to do is take your good sense and make money. People who tell you they don't have any money will find it real quick when the business model starts to work. Are you all with me? All right? So this round room that I live in, there's no question that you can basically give me that it doesn't do well, doesn't fit in it. Somebody said, well, is this a pyramid? No, it's not the company that you work for. Well, I don't work for a pyramid. You don't? What company do you work for? Procter & Gamble? Yeah, great. I said, are you the CEO? You the president? No. He says, you part of the board of directors? No. You part of the top management group? No. So where the hell are you? Everybody get it? Train don't take very long. Are you all with me? So the point of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, that we're not any of those companies. We've been publicly traded on both the New York and American Stock Exchange and one of the top companies in the world. Do you think some gimmick or gadget is going to invest in that kind of thing? No. You think Wall Street's going to be involved in that? Well, it could be. But, the point is that we're a sophisticated, solid business model. It's been around for 40 years. So we need to understand. So I want to go through this little, I'm sure glad you said that, okay? Because again, somebody said, well, my brother-in-law is an attorney. I said, that's great and wonderful. I said, we all have friends, neighbors, and relatives as attorneys. I said, okay, but number one is what type of law you might have a problem with. He doesn't practice. And secondly, he doesn't practice nationwide. Did you learn that through the presentation today? So no matter where you have an attorney here, they don't practice nationwide. So again, this is why the product, the service we have today is so critical and so important. All right. Now, one other thing I want to hit on, I'm going to hit on these real quick, is because I think these are important. One of the things that changed our company was something I came up accidentally one day. Because sometimes we try to do too much, okay? And I realized that one day I was just telling people too much about this, okay? Somebody said, well, tell me all about Legal Shield. Well, number one, this is not a product you tell about. It's a product you show. That's why you're here today, okay? You can't see a movie on the outside of the theater, no matter how good you think you are. All right? You didn't buy your car by not looking at it. You didn't buy your home without looking at it. You surely didn't marry your spouse by not looking him or her over. Right? All right? Okay? All right? So the fact of the matter is, show is a key word. So write down the word show. All right? Show. And I know this is old training for a lot of you. For our new people, this is important. Show. Why do you need? You need to see what we do. Okay? You need to see what we do. All right? The other question that came up earlier on with me was, well, how long is this going to take us? It's going to take an hour. Why don't have an hour? And I started to recognize that today, the world we live in, fast food is no longer fast enough. Agreed? If you want to go to McDonald's this morning, there's 10 cars in line, you got to make a decision. Do I stay in line, or do I go in? Am I right? But the Burger King across the street only has 2 cars. Now, you were really hungry for Burger King, but you still drive over there now because it was faster. I'm telling you, down the road, they'll be shooting this stuff at you. McDonald's will have a burglar gun that will be firing across the road because you'll hear it. Right, I'm dead serious. You'll have a burglar man. And the burgers straight on. I'm telling you, you're going to pull up to your gas pump and order your pizza while you're filling up. You'll push octane here, pepperoni here. And the car's filled up, pizza comes sliding out. How many believe we're heading there? You trust me, that can happen. Okay? All right. Here's the point. Fast food is no longer fast enough. Okay? So I understood then that, in fact, you know what? Some of these companies on the TV are copying my program. 15 minutes. Progressive. Right? Give me 15 minutes. Right? People have 15 minutes. They'll give you 15 minutes of life. Now, in 15 minutes, what can you do in 15 minutes? In 15 minutes, you can explain what our service is about. Because really, when I looked at my presentation today, those first 15 minutes of going through the legal membership, it's all really took. Is about 15 minutes, all right? When you got a brochure or a flip chart in front of you, it's even faster than that, okay? Then the third thing was, you may or may not be interested. You may or may not be interested. All right? Put a question mark, okay? Now, these 3 things change the complexity of building our legal business, and I'll tell you why. Because all of a sudden it was simple. And I started recognizing $39.95 was just as good as $700. Okay? All right? And so, look, if I were to approach you today, so now here let's go back to the plane today. The person that sat beside me on the plane, after we get done with what? Complimenting, contact, building a friendship, finding out what the profession is. Dave, what do you do for a living? Legal Shield. What's Legal Shield? Well, I said, look, I'm going to show you what we do. Take about 15 minutes of our life here to do it. And by the way, you may or may not be interested. Now, they ain't going anywhere anyway. Okay? So I got what? I got them locked in. You all agree? All right? All right? So everybody say show. Show. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. You may or may not be interested. And you know why I tell them they may or may not be interested? So they relax. They relax. You know, I've had people say to me on the plane, well, who wouldn't buy this? I said, people didn't understand it. I said, the only person who would not own this membership is somebody who didn't understand what they sold. One lady one day said, sell me on Legal Shield. I said, we're not allowed. She said, well, how do you market it? I said, we explain this to intelligent people. They make an intelligent decision. That's as simple as it is. She says, are you an intelligent person? Right? Somebody said, well, I don't like show 15 minutes. You may or may not be interested. Well, how about this one then, okay? What do you do? How does Legal Shield work? Everybody say 15 minutes? Let me show you what we do. By the way, you may or may not be interested. Now, you don't like that one. Somebody said, well, how does Legal Shield work? I said, by the way, you may or may not be interested. But if you give me 15 minutes, I'll show you. Change the entire company. Change the entire company. Everybody said it was brilliant. No, it wasn't. It's just what I figured it out. Yeah, it could have been brilliant if I figured it out. Okay, what it came down to was, I knew that I needed to show something. You couldn't see through the holes in the phone. I knew 15 minutes was all you wanted because fast food is no longer fast enough. And I knew you may or may not be interested, made you feel relaxed and comfortable so we didn't intimidate you. And ladies and gentlemen, that's as simple as the most powerful little bit of training at this point. We're going to go on, but I want you to understand how important this is, right? So again, everybody say this. Something important I want to show you. Let me have 15 minutes of your life. And by the way, you may or may not be interested. You know, I've had people say, well, Dave, they come up with all kinds of things. You know, somebody say one day, they say, well, one time I presented this program to an individual at their home. They said, well, timing's just not right yet. And I went through it. I said, well, it's designed for you. They said, well, really, timing's not really right for me. I said, okay. I said, I'll be back. So I went out, counted to 10, knocked back on the door, said, how's timing now? I'm not crazy. I says, you got a family here. I have an obligation. And I says, you need to understand this. I said, look, you got a 12-pack of beer sitting in that refrigerator. It's only going to make you pee. Cancel something. Well, I got to think about it. I got to think about this. I mean, I've had people meetings go, I need to go home and think about this. 26 o'clock. You got to go think. You shouldn't be mine. And by the way, if you got to go home and think, don't get in that car. Most people I know, their mind's working right now. Well, I got to go home and pray on it. Well, you keep God at the house. I said, the guy that I work is everywhere. By the way, I already prayed. He said, get in. Everybody say fun. Get after it. Look, you got to get tough today. Are y'all with me? You got to toughen up a little bit. I got to think about it. I got to pray about it. I got to do this. I got to go talk to my spouse. Why don't you make a commitment today and go home and tell your spouse you did something very important for your family? Okay? I mean, it's not like we're signing you up for a year's contract here. We think it's so good when it's only month to month, is it? Why do you got to go home and discuss this? And on your way home, you just spent $12 for a 12-pack of beer that you're going to pee. Or you buy a bottle of wine. Am I right? I mean, come on now. All right? How many of you buy a cappuccino? All right? $4 and $5. And some of you do that half a dozen times a month, right? And you're willing to, and you got to pee after that. Am I right? And here you got a membership, and you got to, I mean, it's not as if we're making a major manufacturing decision in the world today. All right? Buy the membership. Get your damn wheel done tomorrow morning. Quit screwing around here. Let's go. Let's get after it. Okay? Somebody said, well, you're pretty tough. Well, why not me? What do you think I do on a football day? Well, guys, we just 8 o'clock and nobody. We're getting the shit kicked out of us. And I'm really not happy about that. You want to play for a coach like that? I want the guy who knocks the board off the wall.
Yeah.
I want to come into the playing field, right? I want to put you on the playing field here today. I want to put you on the real playing field and understand that where this company is about to go is absolutely, absolutely incredible, okay? And that we're here today, with our legal shield, and it's going to be phenomenal what's going to happen in our business model today. All right? We stand alone. Write that down. We stand alone in an industry. There's nobody out there that we got competition with that I know of in the world today. Nobody has a comprehensive legal program in the world today. Nobody does what we have to do. We stand alone. 3,500 insurance companies are marketing health, life, and casualty. All right? When's the last time your insurance somebody called you up to sell it to you? Probably not too long. Maybe years ago. 3,500 can't even get to all the marketplace. And there's only one of us. Saturated. You're saturated. You're going to become saturated. Quit hanging around people, okay, that give you that kind of thing, okay? Learn to get around. That's why you're here today. You're with people today that are giving you knowledge. Lady, you can't go anywhere. Back here, sit down. Let's see you had that 12-pack of beer. Right down to your control. Take control of what you're doing. Are you with me? And have some fun. I did that with a smile. I have fun. Okay? Okay? Now, again, it's really critical and important. So here's what we talk about today. Wheel of opportunity, understanding how to recruit into that wheel. Okay? Understanding the 15 minutes you may or may not be interested. Understanding, I'm sure glad you said that, which basically eliminates any obstacles that may come into play. All right? Just simple things like that is all you really need to do. Learn how to do that. Here's a couple other things we're going to talk about. Learn how to do a presentation. How do you learn how to do it? Today, PowerPoints. We got the flip chart.